Hello and welcome to the 21st Century Work-Life podcast. Just a special episode to say hello, that the podcast is a little bit quiet over the summer and we'll be back in September with some interviews and maybe a different kind of episodes for the What's Going On episodes. I'm not sure yet. That's part of the little break, is to stop and think, right, how are we moving forwards? Maybe in the same way and maybe in a different one. But I am recording now on the 8th of August and I've already got a couple of interviews lined up this week. The September episode is already ready to drop in your feed. And I'm really looking forward to what we've got in the autumn. Other stuff that I'm up to with Virtual Not Distant. Well, of course, if you like podcasts and you haven't listened to it yet, Management Cafe is where I have conversations with Tim Burgess, who used to be he's one of the founders of Shield Geo, which was acquired later. And he was the instigator of our Connection and Disconnection in Remote Teams series a couple of years ago. So myself and Tim in Management Cafe talk about an aspect of leadership for about 25 minutes. Very casually, we share a lot of our own stories. We're discovering a lot about ourselves and the other person. And it's just a lot of fun. So if you fancy that, we're doing that every other week. It's very interesting if you love that word. So that's something for you to check out. The other thing I wanted to ask, if you have any interest in technology or just have 10 minutes to spare, we are we're almost ready to launch an asynchronous communication course. And when I say we, I mean Simon Wilson and myself. And this is an audio first course. What we mean by that is that we've designed it so that it is consumed in audio. A very short, like 15, 16 minute long maximum units of 9 modules. And it's an introduction to asynchronous communication for those managers and team leaders that are having to incorporate it into their day-to-day. And it's just got some ideas and some things to be looking out for. We also have a written version, but again, it's audio first. So we're trying out a new app. It's funny because those of you who know me know that I have many interests, and one of them is writing. And in particular, I've self-published all my books because I think it would be really good to try and look for a publisher at some point, but my books are very short. And actually, once I'm done with them, I'm done with them and I just want to get them out there. So I know a lot about self-publishing, and there is an app called Book Funnel, which writers, and I use it as well, we use to give out freebies, for example, download ebooks mainly. And the beauty of that app for books is that you as the reader can download on whatever e-format you prefer. And also, great for the author, Book Funnel just looks after all the customer service for the app. So if you go to download my book and you have a problem, you don't reach out to me with the problem, you reach out to Book Funnel. And that's why they are wonderful and we love them. They've got an app for audiobooks, and it's the only app that I found that could deliver our course in a way that didn't mean we had to be part of a huge marketplace, which means that you go in and you're distracted by lots of other stuff. Their app is in beta. It has been for a couple of years, but I've added it to them, their customer service. They're very friendly and everything. So if you would like to test out the app, I'd be very grateful. We've had people who've listened to the whole course and given us their feedback. So we're going with what we've got unless we find something terribly wrong with it. But you're also welcome, of course, to give us feedback on the content. So I just wanted to ask you if you've got about, I think it's probably 10 minutes and you're up for downloading something on your mobile phone or accessing something through your browser. Either of them will do for us. Then let me know. My email, pilar@virtualnotdistant.com. And if you prefer to contact me through the contact form, just go to virtualnotdistant.com. There's a contact form there. So it's a huge ask, but anyway, if you're interested. Other news, I've got 2 more, have got to do with writing, because I'm just putting aside loads more time for writing. I love it. Those of you who know me know. And I've got books that I've been working on for years, and there's other loads of books that are in my head. I don't know. I wish I could say I'm going to live long enough to finish all the books I want to write, but I just don't think that's possible, especially at the speed that I write. But I'm still writing on my book about visible teamwork, which is now called Solving the Puzzle of Online Collaboration. And it's all about visible teamwork coupled with self-determination theory of motivation. I love mixing old and new ways of working. Well, all the new theories, let's say, and also with facilitative leadership, because I found that the big pieces in that puzzle are visible teamwork, which I've talked a lot about, facilitative leadership, and for me, self-determination theory. They go really, really well together. You can't see me, but I'm putting my fingers in between each other, clutching them and creating, a puzzle figures like jigsaw pieces. All right, so that's one. And the other thing that I've started playing with, and if you would like to read some of this, do let me know, because I'd love you to do that, pilar@virtualnotdistant.com. I had this idea about 6 or 7 months ago about co-writing with GPT-4, a book about like very broad vision of remote work, very broad. I'm a broad person. But getting ChatGPT to adapt some of Shakespeare's monologues and some scenes and adapt them to reflect an aspect of remote work. And I found that sometimes the bot did this quite well for a first draft. Then, of course, I realized how much work I still needed to do. And then I started thinking, well, would anyone be interested in just the speeches? Let me add something. And then when you add, well, if I add this, it doesn't go deep enough. So I'm a bit like, I'm not sure where to go with the book. I'm definitely going to set up an online shop with the remotellyshakespeare.com URL. I've already got that because I think some of these will have great taglines that you can put on a t-shirt or a mug. So anyway, if you're interested in that and just want me to keep you updated on it, or if you want me to send some stuff to have a look at because you're curious or because you'd like to let me know what you think and whether you think anyone's going to be interested in this, then do let me know. pilar@virtualnotdistant.com. And so that you see what I mean, I've picked one of the, I can't believe I'm doing this, I've picked one of the monologues. It's actually from one of Shakespeare's less known plays. It's the Two Noble Kinsmen. And I actually used to use the original speech for my auditions back when I used to audition for Shakespeare. So I've adapted this. It's all about choosing tools. I'm not going to tell you anything else. Let's see how it goes. Why should I love these tools so? 'Tis odds they never will affect me. I am simple, each tool beckoning with promises untold. And I love all. To master all of them is futile. To delete them is senseless. Out upon it! What trials are we workers driven to when remote work has claimed us? First, I saw Slack. I, seeing, deemed it a worthy app. It has as much to charm a worker in it, if it pleased to bestow it so, as ever these eyes yet looked on it. Next, I yearned over Trello, and so would any mind of my conscience that ever dreamed or pledged time management to a fresh and appealing task. Then I loved the whiteboard, extremely loved it, infinitely loved it, and yet it had its flaws, as all do too. But in my heart was Google Workplace. And there, Lord, what a coil it keeps. To see a multitude of apps all accessed with one click, what a heaven it is. And yet its name's a fleeting one, and scarce lasts one generation of remote. Then there is Dropbox, a cloud aloft, a refuge for files, a sanctuary for documents. Its sync, its share, its version history did cause my heart to leap, my mind to marvel. Yet it too had its flaws, its limits, its expenses, its conflicts, its deletions, a horror to behold. And now there's Notion, a novelty it used to be with its pages, its databases, its all-in-one workspace. It promises the universe, it promises the moon. But oh, what a learning curve! what a mountain to ascend. Yet I cannot resist, I cannot deny the allure of these apps, the promise of productivity. Oh, what a world of apps, a blessing and a curse, a delight and a burden. To navigate the sea, to master these tools is a task Herculean, a labor of love. Yet I am but a worker, a humble knowledge worker, lost in the sea of apps, adrift in the ocean of remote work. And yet, on the horizon, a glimmer of hope. The promise of AI, the dream of automation to lighten our load, to ease our burden, a new dawn for the remote, a new era for work. Well, thank you so much for letting me share that. That was a lot of fun to read, I have to say. I'm still trying to know whether to just go in and do what I want to do with this and put it out there and see what happens. And if half of the population hates it, that's fine. Although it's never nice, of course. And if it sells too, then that's fine as well. That is really fine. So I would love to hear if you would like to read more of these, if you would like to hear more of these, because I've got the podcast, I can always play with them here. So Pilar at virtualnotdistant.com or virtualnotdistant.com for the contact form. Well, I hope you're having a lovely August. I certainly am, but I can't wait to come back and share some of the wonderful conversations that I am actually having now with lots of different people. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, enjoy.